This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are here to go over minute 92 of the Goonies today. My God, you know, we have gone over the scale of this soundstage and this set and all the details. Every penny of the budget that they put into this set, you see. There is nothing left unshown.
There's a particular shot from behind the pirate ship, which is maybe the first time we see from a full view from behind the pirate ship, looking back towards where they would have come out of the tunnels, to where it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and, you know, there's a lot of moments, and we've actually talked about this before, but before we go into that, you want to get into the minute?
Let's get into the minute.
All right. In the previous minute, the Fratellis had finally caught up with the Goonies. Armed with a gun and swords, the Fratellis definitely had the upper hand. The Goonies were forced out onto the deck of the ship. Data seemingly had things under control after releasing a number of his inventions. At minute 92, Data's belt buckle opens up and releases the suction cup arrow tethered to his belt. The arrow latches on to Ma Fratelli's pistol, but unfortunately for Data, it pulls him closer to her instead of the pistol to him. The Goonies reach out for Data as he is pulled closer to Ma Fratelli. She drops her gun into a hole in the deck. The Fratellis have had enough. Jake and Francis force the rest of them further along the deck. We get a sweeping view of the cave and ship. Jake throws a bag onto the ground, and they force the Goonies to throw all of their treasure onto it. Ma notices that Mouth is being particularly quiet. She reaches over to him and pulls a string of pearls from his mouth. Things are quickly getting worse. Ma holds a sword to Andy, and thus ends minute 92 of the Goonies. So, like I was talking about before we got into the minute, most of the time with sets, there's going to be a side to it that isn't built, and that's where all the camera is going to be, and the film crew and everything like that. Take a sitcom, for example. You've got your three walls, and then that fourth wall is not there. Well,
and then they film the front of the house in Disney or on a...
Exactly. Like a facade.
You know, just, it's amazing.
It's so
the outside of these houses of different sitcoms.
And then you see it on the backlot tour at Disney World, and you're so disappointed to know that,
and that's the name of the tour I couldn't remember.
Exactly, yeah. Not there anymore. They tore it all down.
Yeah, that's what I was here.
So, what the hell? Oh, Goonies, yeah. So anyway, we are now on, like you said, the other side of the pirate ship where... You know, okay, so now it is that fourth wall of the sitcom set, if you will. The camera and everything's back there. Well, we saw that side previously. So they have built everything, every bit of this cave, you know, top to bottom, and they're able to move their cameras. That's how big it is my point. You know, all of the film gear is going to be able to fit on one side of the set at some point. That's how big, how massive this soundstage is. And like we have said, it's a full pirate ship, so they're able to show this thing from multiple sides and still take it all in. So I guess this is the long way around saying that everything is here. I mean, this is just one of maybe the most impressive impressive set I have ever seen in a movie.
And no detail is left out.
Like the skeleton.
The skeleton upside down. On the outside, I guess, like these ropes.
The rigging, the netting or something.
Yeah, that's right. It's upside down hanging, which this is the first time I've ever noticed that.
Yeah, which is funny. Like, how the hell would he stay like that? But, you know.
Maybe he was tied to it.
He could have been. Willie, he got all of these guys somehow. So, anyway, right as the minute opens, we see Data's, contraption that we saw earlier with his belt buckle will spring open and the suction cup will shoot out, and the editing is really nifty. Whenever it shoots out and sticks to Ma Fratelli's gun, that is actually shot. It's a pretty neat editing trick. It would have been shot with the suction cup on the gun being pulled off and then played in reverse in the scene to make it look like, it has actually gone out and hit her gun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really simple. You see it all the time.
Well, I probably do, and I don't know it, but you're the one that's the film guy, but I'm definitely going to be looking for that kind of stuff.
And you can kind of see it, not to spoil it, but if you look at the way she blinks her eyes and turns her head, you can kind of tell that it was shot backwards.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's really well done, I think. So we get that little trick, and Data, just as it worked in the beginning, or didn't work for that matter, starts being pulled towards them. And all the Goonies reach out and try and grab him, but they're too late. And next thing you know... Of course,
the only good thing that happened there is that the gun falls, falls below deck. But they have plenty of giant swords to stand in for that gun.
Yeah, they still don't have a chance, the Goonies.
One of the most disheartening parts of this movie as a kid watching, and even to this day, just feels like a gut punch, is when they have to throw out all of the jewelry or take it off their body and throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just remember the first time seeing that just hurt me. It was crazy, but it's also a chance for us to see how many different types of jewels they have. It's kind of cool.
Right, and would all of that have been enough?
I think we're pretty sure that would have been enough based on what Jeff has said, and then a few minutes down the line, we'll find out in minute 106.
Yeah,
kind of an idea of what Rosalita has.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't hear, minute 91, our special guest, who's a jeweler, we were able to kind of determine how much might have been in that room on the table, and it's terrible to see it all just fall to the ground. Now that we know, or have kind of an idea of how much that would have been. But like you were saying, in minute 106, he's going to be back, and we're going to figure out if what comes out of Mikey's marble bag would have been enough to save the Goondocks.
So Ma Fratelli turns to Mouth. Wow, and this is in the process of everybody throwing their jewelry on the ground. And he's like, "You're the one they call Mouth." And also one of the scenes in this movie that disgusted me is when they take those pearls out of his mouth.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And this is the second time he's really grossed me out, by the way. Look, the first time was in the water fountain.
Yes, when he had the
wishing well,
face,
and it's like Crisco oil or fish fry oil was all over his face. And then this one is like, what kind of saliva is this man?
I don't know.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then he spits out more, and that always kind of nauseated me.
Gross.
And let me tell you what, I wouldn't want to touch anything that came out of Mouth's mouth.
Yeah.
It is gross.
It's pretty. It's kind of gross.
And she's like, "Oh my God."
It's a funny moment, but it's still kind of disgusting.
It grosses me out. I mean, most people probably aren't affected by it like I am, but
right.
Ugh. And then again, Corey Feldman's mouth. Ugh.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Right. So one of the things that I had never noticed is what happens to the punchers of power. Whenever Data is pulled over, you think the thing would have still been sticking out. Well, in that wide shot where the camera's kind of swooping down, to meet up with the Goonies, you can actually see him dismantling it, taking it off, and it is laying there on the pile of gold whenever we see all the gold dumping out onto the ground.
I've never noticed that, but I always wondered how he, what he did with these things after he used them. But what a great example of the directors thinking of everything.
Absolutely.
Because it would have been really easy just to disregard that. Just like the rope in the scene where the pinchers of peril were used when they had the spikes. It would have taken a minute breakdown to wonder, hey, how'd they get down there?
Yeah.
But no one that didn't do something like we're doing would have ever noticed it.
Yeah.
But they cared enough about it to go the extra mile and pay attention to all these details.
And it sucks whenever you see in a movie a flaw like that, where something was just completely disregarded, because it's all you're ever going to be able to see again. So, yeah. And I'm sure there's been moments in this movie that we probably didn't catch because we're too caught up with what's going on. Jurassic Park, doing Jurassic Park Minute, I noticed all kinds of little moments where something would disappear and reappear. And it's just all I notice after you see it. But, so it's cool that they would have taken the time to show what happens to the punchers of power.
When Mouth is starting to remove, or Ma's removing those pearls, it starts that Goonies music again.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it sounds almost like...
Which is kind of interesting to start music. It right then.
Yeah, it really is. This score, as we've talked about, hits all different levels of it's a lot of variety. And this particular piece just sounds like classical music to me, and it works really well. Okay, here's a question. Well, it's not really a question. Maybe. So One-Eyed Willie's ship is either going to continue to sail around the world forever, or eventually sink, or probably find its way into another cave. So decades, centuries maybe from now, when a new group of explorers find it, they're going to find the Punches of Power on there and wonder, what the hell is this? Is this just some kind of time traveling ship?
Let me tell you what's really going to happen. They know there's a bunch of jewelry on that boat. The Navy's going to go get it.
Possibly.
No, that would be.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. They wouldn't let that set sail.
Okay, so now there's word.
We can be like Fantasyland and pretend it that way, but
that's true.
If that really had happened, they would be after that. If they knew treasure was on. Oh, come on.
Yeah, and now the word is out. The legend is true, and this. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a helicopter going after that thing. Shortly.
It's going to be taken over within an hour.
An hour. Yeah. Huh. And God only knows what it would have been used for. Goonies 2. Still Goonies.
But then again, if they do a Goonies 2 with that pirate ship, they're going to have to make a whole new one because it's been destroyed.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Well, until Goonies 2 comes out, you want to go ahead and wrap up this minute?
Yeah, let's wrap up this minute.
All right. Well, like we said yesterday, starting tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to have John Robert Wilson of Fifth Element on, and he is going to be going over minute 93 all the way through minute 97 next week. So definitely be sure to tune in tomorrow and for the rest of the show, which is coming up to its final episode in just a few weeks. So thank you so much for listening today, and we can't wait to have you back tomorrow for minute number 93. And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die. Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram at GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at Patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Pele Media.